Hello everybody, and do we have a lot to talk about today? Many of you have woken up to some incredibly exciting news. If you haven't heard yet, Taleworlds have just announced their very first DLC for Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord, and it looks like a game changer. War Sails is coming, and yes, you heard that right, ships are finally coming to Calradia. What you're watching right now is a cinematic trailer that just dropped, and I have to say, this is something special. Naval combat has been one of the most requested features by the Bannerlord community for years, and it looks like the developers have been listening. This reveal took place during the Future Games show, and the best part is we don't have to wait too long. It's set to release on July 17th, 2025 for both PC and consoles. Now, I don't usually get overly excited about trailers, but after seeing this, you'll forgive me. This is packed with action and details to analyse. While we should always take cinematic trailers with a pinch of salt, there's a lot to break down. From what we can see, familiar factions are taking to the seas in a wide variety of ships, transporting troops, boarding enemy vessels, and fighting in intense melee battles on deck. Siege engines like catapults are being fired from ships, rams are crashing into hulls, and yes, it looks like fire arrows are making an appearance. But that's not all. The trailer also gives us glimpses of unfamiliar island settlements and possibly even a new ruler. There's so much more to unpack, but let's break down what Taleworlds themselves have revealed about War Sails. This is going to be huge. As always, a huge thank you to the Twitch subs and channel members that help keep this channel alive. More about how you can support from as little as £1 a month at the end. So this is on the Taleworlds website news page, and I'll read it out verbatim so there's nothing misinterpreted or missed out. Announcing the War Sails expansion and base game plans. Greetings, warriors of Calradia. We're thrilled to announce a major expansion to Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord War Sails will be arriving on PC and consoles, PS5, Xbox Series XS on the 17th of June 2025. Watch the announcement trailer to get the first look at the intense naval warfare and epic battles that await. That's what we just watched. You can wishlist this now. Sail the high seas, lead mighty fleets, and forge your legacy in War Sails, the epic single-player expansion for Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord, bringing naval warfare to Bannerlord for the first time. War Sails lets players command powerful ships, engage in thrilling sea battles, and master maritime conquest. Embark on daring naval adventures with new mechanics, territories, and challenges. Customize your fleet, conquer settlements, and carve your legend on the high seas. Meet the Nords, a new Viking-inspired faction. Chart your course to the Northern Kingdom, home to the fearless Nords, legendary seafarers and masters of close-quarters combat. Explore a land of jagged peaks, vast tiagas, and freezing fjords, where scattered settlements rise like ships from the sea. A bold adventurer may trade their goods, recruit their warriors, join their ranks, or challenge their rule. Will you join the North or seize its riches? So it certainly sounds like that there's going to be a northern map expansion. So they're bringing the Nords to Bannerlord. That's really interesting because if you ever noticed in the encyclopedia, there are 3 unused factions. One of them is the Nords, the other is the Vakan, and the other is the Darcy. So I wonder if there's plans for future DLC on top of this one. Master Naval Warfare. War Sails introduces a unique and immersive naval warfare system that has been inspired by accounts of actual medieval sea battles, featuring realistic wind and water physics. Ship-to-ship combat lets you board enemies from multiple points, ram them, or attack from afar. So everything we saw from that cinematic trailer seems like it's going to be implemented. Captains can seize opportunities by boarding already engaged ships, prepare for an incoming attack by creating a floating fortress, or take a risk to tie down several enemies at once, giving their allies an edge elsewhere. They may ram an enemy ship to sink it, or at least throw men off board, shatter oars, and compromise buoyancy. Well-placed arrows and ballista fire can also tear through sails, further crippling mobility. So this sounds absolutely excellent to me. Explore an expanded world. Calradia has been reimagined with a northern region, a settled island, coastal waters, and open seas. The dynamic weather system was also refined to include storms and trade winds. not too sure what that means. Ships move faster when trading the gales, but beware, attrition can unravel even the best laid plans. The naval system and Nord faction integrate into Bannerlord's world, reshaping trade, warfare and diplomacy. Ship production and new trade goods add regional variety. Coastal towns may grow rich from this, if they can fend off pirates and naval invasions. Sieges have also been adapted to naval warfare. Armies will have to bring along a fleet and set up a blockade if they want to stop supplies and reinforcements arriving overseas. That, I think, is pretty spectacular. Build your fleet. Players can choose from 18 ship types modelled after historical vessels. 18 ship types, each with unique handling shaped by realistic wind and wave physics. They can be customised with siege engines, cargo holds, sails, rams and more. Shipyards build and stock vessels based on their town's culture and development. Players can also capture ships and figureheads in battle. Expand your arsenal. The character system has been extended with Nord hairstyles, beards and tattoos. 3 nautical skills were added that enhance navigation, tactics and stewardship. There are also many new items including spears, swords, axes, shields and armour. Troop trees now include marina troops that are more effective at sea. Players can also recruit new companions with maritime backgrounds. Learn the ropes. A new quest line introduces players to the seas of Calradia through cinematics, scripted missions, and classic Mount & Blade gameplay. Learn how to command your ship, then take it into battle against a pirate confederacy. Lead a growing fleet of newfound allies as you face a range of nautical challenges. Enhanced audio. The sounds of the sea come to life with new Mediterranean and Nordic-inspired musical tracks. Experience rich soundscapes with piercing winds, crashing waves, and creaking ships. Feel the heat of battle as steel clashes and sailors cry out. If you can't tell, I am very, very excited to see how this turns out. There's an FAQ page, I'll get to that in a second, but first, base game plan. This is so much more than the expansion. We also want to give you a general update on Bannerlord, what we've been doing and what is yet to come. After the full release in October of 2022, we published a number of updates that not only addressed important issues across the various platforms, but also introduced additional features such as weather and weather effects, fog of war, sally out ambush, formation targeting, warehouses, alleys, and many more. Much like during our early access period, we've continued to expand and refine the game with your feedback and support. We're truly grateful to have such a dedicated community who's been with us every step of the way. As we mentioned in our post-release plan, we were open to exploring DLC as one way of introducing additional content. And while that remained true, we realised that our communication has not met the level you had grown to expect from us. The naval battle system being introduced with the newly announced War Sales expansion proved to be a technical and gameplay challenge. We had also been working on another project that was planned as a more story-driven DLC. While this was an interesting new approach, it ultimately didn't meet the quality we aimed for. Rather than talking about and releasing something we aren't happy with, we made a tough decision to cancel its launch. These hurdles caused a delay in our communication, and we sincerely appreciate your patience during this time. The good news is that instead of shelving the work, we will be repurposing the new gameplay mechanics from this cancelled project as content for the base game. This involves the introduction of a robust stealth system that will allow you to infiltrate dungeons and hideouts, rescue prisoners, dispatch enemies without ever raising alarms. The enemy AI will now detect sound and motion, becoming alerted by your actions through progressive levels of cautiousness. To succeed, you will need to not only carefully consider your position and movement, but also your environment, utilizing elevation, darkness of the night, and natural cover to achieve your goals covertly. While these may be enough in some cases, you will find other stealth tactics like distraction and concealing corpses just as useful. Honing your effectiveness will further be possible through gear and the roguery skill. We will be sharing more stealth details in a future deep dive, so stay tuned. That sounds fantastic, it's like Metal Gear Solid now. Stealth kill. We are also working on several features that we're planning to bring to the base game alongside the War Sales expansion. For one, we want to improve our trait system so that players will be able to better develop their characters. To this end, we are working on a feature that will prompt you with random events during your journeys. Ideally, this will not just offer a new avenue of character development, but add further life into the world of Calradia. So I've just zoomed in to read this this example. The quiet life. As you pass through your lands, you see several of your Vlandian sergeant casting envious eyes over the farms and the fields. They are tired of wandering from place to place, they say, and hope to put down roots somewhere and start a family. Their contract of enlistment is not yet up, but it occurs to you that if they settled in your estates, it would be a boon to your local militia. Grant them their wish and encourage them to purchase land near Sargo. Give them money to purchase land near your fief at... I can't even read that. So long as they take charge of training the local militia. Tell them that they can go, but only if they forfeit back pay as compensation to you for losing them. Refuse them permission. It sounds more like roleplay opportunities. That's fantastic. With a positive and negative... with positive and negative outcomes. That's fantastic. Town and castle projects will also undergo changes. These adjustments will improve the balance between projects with impactful effects and those with limited or situational effects that add new types. This should allow for better control over the management of your fief. Another point of interest is the passage of time and the cycle of life in the game. While we think that Bannerlord manages to achieve a happy medium between this progression and not rushing players, we also feel that the additional choice in this regard would make for a rather fun alternative to the vanilla experience. We're also making it easier to communicate with nearby enemies by introducing the parlay feature, allowing you to enter into a conversation without getting your head cut off. I really appreciate that. That's ended most of my runs, a lot of my runs, but this sounds like an optional choice. I know a complaint a lot of people have is just the time it takes from a baby to reach adulthood. It takes literally 18 in-game years, which is, for most people's accounts, their drop-off point, or they've already run the game by that point. So maybe it's going to speed up the life and death cycle. I'll be interested to check that out, absolutely. The community requested character import and export feature is in the works, allowing you to adjust various aspects like equipment, perks, skills, attributes, name, culture, gold by editing the character file in the game saves folder and importing it via the console window cheats. That's really interesting because I actually have to run. I name my lords. I name my channel members after lords. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you might see my channel members. I've named them in game. I've had to download a mod for that, and that is really slowing down my silly little laptop that I use to record. Having that in the base game to be able to do my tests and other videos that aren't a vanilla playthrough, I think that's really a really good quality of life feature, a really good thought from the developers. Alongside these, we continue to work on the combat experience, which includes the addition of new weapon types like slings. Spear bracing is being refined with better targeting, smoother animations, and spearmen using their spears by default, making them more effective against cavalry charges. Looking at the new sling here. Excellent. A variety of AI enhancements are also being added, such as more accurate usage of melee weapons, improved pathfinding and reduced zigzag movements for mounted AI, improved range AI accuracy against moving targets, and increased firing rate through better avoidance of friendly troops. Beyond that, we're addressing various siege AI issues, preventing archers with a targeted order from getting too close to the enemy, and more. We're likewise working on a number of adjustments to support our modders better. This includes allowing attack while crouched. Looking at you, mods with guns. Further opening up the AI agent attack and weapon selection decision-making processes, making the interpolated mission atmosphere moddable, providing audio modding support for Fmod, banks, and events, as well as opening up campaign time to customization. To make modding even more accessible, we're creating an XML editor, removing the need to manually edit XML files to add, remove, or modify items, heroes, factions, settlements, and more. Those that would prefer to continue doing it manually will also see that process simplified. We're using the XSLT system. XSLT system will no longer be necessary. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll also see that process simplified. We're using the SLT system will no longer be necessary. I'm sorry, I'm not a modder. That will make sense to modders. And that brings us to the end of today's announcement. On behalf of everyone at Taleworlds, we want to express our heartfelt thanks for your incredible support and dedication over the years. We can't wait to share even more in the coming weeks. Until then, stay tuned and take care. We'll see you soon. What a fantastic announcement. We're going to go through some of the FAQs from here. Because there was a couple of things. A lot of it is the what we just saw, what I've just described basically. But when it's released 17th of June this year, which platforms on both PC and consoles, you can wishlist it now. Will there be a collector's edition? Not planning on it. Will there be a pre-order for the expansion? No. Will there be a discount or bundle if I already own Bannerlord? Exact pricing details will be clarified close to release. Keep an eye on official announcement for potential promotions. So if you go to the Steam page, it says nothing about price. I assume that this potentially would be free, but I don't think that will be the case. But exact pricing details will be clarified close to the release. So potentially free, probably not. Keep an eye out. Will this expansion be set in a historical context like Mountain Blade Warband, Viking Conquest? No. While it takes inspiration from seafaring cultures of the north, the expansion remains firmly within the fictional world of Calradia rather than a historical setting. Will I need the base game? Yes. Will my existing Bannerlord save work with the expansion? No. Saves will not be compatible between the base game and this expansion. You'll need to start a new game to experience the new content. Naval custom battles? No. Multiplayer? No. Will there be any differences between PC and consoles? Essential content will be the same. Battle sizes vary on consoles, it says. Language supports. Will there be expansion-specific achievements? No. Will modders be able to create mods for the expansion? Yes, modders will be able to create mods for the expansion on PC. And this is probably what a lot of people wanted to find out for a long time, is we're currently not planning to support console modding. Even if we were to explore this in the future, there are requirements that make it quite difficult to achieve the same level of modding support as on the PC version. So there you have it verbatim. No plans for console mods in the future. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Join the Discord to take part of the conversation. Hit the join button to become a member and take part in future videos. And I will see you in the next one. I hope you're all excited as I am. Bye now.